Oh, Sam, I want to talk to you, Sam. Samuel. I wasn't going to talk about this because at this point, hating on Euphoria season 3 is like hating on your morning alarm or the name Magdalene. But I've seen a lot of online discourse on, how like, yeah, the season overall wasn't good, but the finale made it worth it. Yeah. The finale was so beautiful. And this simply won't stand. So, Sam, you have forced my hand, I am. I need caffeine for this. Let's start off with the things that I like. The title card sequence was kind of cool.
See, I got him, motherfucker. I was like, bye, motherfucker. Sit your ass down.
That's all. So the episode is called In God We Trust, which right off the bat is fucking weird. And it's not talking about like the universal, like what does God mean to you? How is God as you understand him? It's like the Old Testament evangelical Christian definition of God. It's just very odd to me. So much of the show before this were these characters struggling with and seeking out spirituality. You know, it's specifically Rue, because she's grappling with all these fucked up things she's done in her addiction. The driving force of her character is this journey she's on towards redemption and acceptance. On that journey, she tries, you know, obviously she finds spirituality in drugs for a little bit. She's like a nihilist. She's an atheist at one point. The thing about Rue is she'll be like, I'm an atheist, but then wind up in a church. Like, she has range. When she meets Ali, who converted to Islam, I think at one point she says she might convert too. I could be wrong. Either way, he tells her all about his experience with that. The show explores all these different doctrines and spiritual frameworks without insisting on any of them. Until now, I guess. It's just so weird to me that originally the message was there are so many paths to connecting to a power greater than yourself, only for it to backtrack and be like, actually the answer's in Leviticus. You're fucking weird, Sam. And we haven't even got into your psychosexual obsession with putting all of your fetishes in seemingly every piece of art that you make. Let's put a pin in the religious shit for now. Trust me, there will be more. We cut to Cassie, who is of course practically naked. And that wig is such a problem. I saw a comment that says she threw the wig in the air and then ran under it. And yeah. Then we cut to Maddie and no notes ever. Actually, one note. It is strictly, scientifically, cosmically, universally impossible for her to be this down bad. Sam? Remember, this is the girl who, when she was dating Nate and Cal, his dad, like mildly disapproved of her. He won Best Chili at the fair, and she slow Joker clapped, walked up to him, and then pushed his chili all over the fucking ground. What in God's name is your problem? You cunt.
What in God's name is your problem? You cunt.
Yeah, cinema. The carnival episode is probably my favorite episode of Euphoria, and while we're here, I think it's a great illustration of how fucking far this show has fallen. Like, there's so much intention behind the shots, the costume, the makeup. It's all fucking stunning. It's also distinctly Euphoria. The dialogue is sharp. There's no wasted time or space. Like, everything has a meaning. It's awesome. Let's get back to the shit show. So you're telling me that Maddie, the most fully realized, self-determined character in the entire show, is suddenly a hooker for this grimy fentanyl dealer who owns a strip club, not even in like LA proper, like out in the fucking by like an RV park. Like, it's next to a tire shop. I'm sick. You're telling me Maddie wouldn't clock that from 100 miles away? No. Sorry, no. Sorry, Sam, no. Next we get an almost 20-minute long sequence with none of the original main characters. Just a great use of screen time in a series finale where we will never see some beloved characters ever again. Good job, Sam! The sequence is this absolutely preposterous drug trafficking scheme that Alamo and Lori are doing. It's egregiously long. They're like pretending to be EMTs, they being characters we met this season and didn't get that much screen time of them. We don't give a fuck about them. Ugh. He wants to be Martin Scorsese so badly. There's a little bit of Rue and Ali sprinkled into this, and it's the lead up to her overdose. But then it immediately cuts to a fucking stripper in the back of an ambulance, like trying to con the Border Patrol agents into letting them bring fentanyl into America. It's like, talk about taking your subject matter seriously. This bullshit scene should have absolutely been another 20 minutes dedicated to Rue. Or literally any of the other characters, you know, Jules, Maddie, Cassie. I hate to say it, but she slayed this season. It is kind of poetic that the only person who can get a good performance out of Sydney Sweeney is Sam Levinson. Like, those two for sure have one of those broken heart best friend necklaces. Like, absolutely they do. Okay, let's get into the overdose sequence. She's listening to the book of Genesis on audiobook, and the passage that they choose is just so fucking contrived and on the nose and basic, and it is truly a child's idea of what symbolism is.
God saw the light, that it was good.
What a deep observation, Sam. Do you have any more insights?
God called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
Whoa. I need a minute to think on this, guys. So cut to interior morning. Ali wakes up, has his morning cig, and then goes into the living room where Rue is just vibing out on the couch. She's watching the news and sees that Fezco has escaped prison using parkour. Sure. This is something that Fezco literally never talked about. There's an earlier episode where there's a fake phone conversation with Rue. It's season 3. He died already. But on the phone, she's like, you should use parkour to escape. Do you see what I mean? This is all self-contained bullshit that Sam just makes out of thin air that it has no basis in any of the actual characters. He just made it up because he could. Anyway, she's like, I gotta go pick him up. She sprints out of the house, and then Ali notices the pill bottle on the living room table. We then get the very useful and necessary experience of watching Rue be stuck in traffic. Me to the fucking pacing of this episode. She passes the convenience store that Fezco used to run and they used to hang out at all the time. You know, this started in the pilot episode, and I'll concede this is a very sweet sequence. See what happens when you use through line, Sam? It's powerful. When you incorporate the fundamentals of the characters, how they were when we got introduced to them, when we met them, when that's brought together with their ending, it's powerful. You should do that more. This scene to me also illustrates that even the happiest moments of her life were when she was fucked up, and it's just fucking heartbreaking. Rue is such a deep, complicated, fundamentally tragic, and just so interesting of a character. But no, please do show us more of you guzzling Martin Scorsese's cum. Reheating nachos just wasn't a powerful enough metaphor. Sorry. She continues driving, and she sees her younger self pass her in the car with her mom and sister when she was coming back from rehab. And we also see Jules biking into town when we first met Jules too, and it's also a good sequence, better than most of the things that happen in this episode. So Rue sneaks into her childhood house, and she finds her mom at the kitchen table, who's of course reading a Bible. Let's take a closer look at this verse. Yeah, so it has nothing to do with the plot. It's about not worshiping man-made idols. It makes no fucking sense in context. Great job, Sam. So Rue says, Mom. And then her mom says, nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Leslie is one of the most powerful voices in the entire series, and she is reduced to radio silence. I don't want to get too lost in the weeds here, but this was not like a Barbie Ferreira situation where she was like, gotta go. No, this actress Nika King was down and excited to be a part of season 3, and Sam called her and said, we're going in a different direction. Hey Nika, it's Sam. Yeah, so first of all, I just wanted to thank you for, in the first 2 seasons, bringing quite possibly the realest depiction of a parent with a child going through addiction. And you've inspired so many parents who are going through similar things, or at least made them feel less alone. Yeah, I just wanted to call and say that I'm actually no longer interested in doing that. I'm going in a different direction. Okay, no more jokes for a little bit. This is obviously not happening. Rue, in reality, is on Ali's couch overdosing. A lot of people are calling this sequence a dream, or what her brain was inputting to her as she is dying. And a lot of the sequence definitely is that, and I think that those parts are really good. I already mentioned I think the Fez scene is really good, and the scene where she passes her old self on the road. And then in this last part, she's reaching out as she's overdosing for help, and her dad, she finally gets to be held by and hugged by her dad, and I think it's really good. However, the structure of this scene is not that of a dream. It is not presented as her mind giving her this information and these memories, etc. It's presented, at least at first, as a real thing that is happening. This whole scene exists to cheaply trick the audience into thinking, oh, she's fine, she survived the pills. Ooh, plot twist, it's not fine. It was all a dream. It's gotcha storytelling. It is so cheap and manipulative, and it doesn't even abide by the it was all a dream rules, which are relaxed to say the least. You're telling me that Rue's visions as she's ascending to heaven included Ollie waking up and smoking a cig. You're telling me that the last dream Rue ever dreamed involved Ollie alone at his house finding the pills after she left? Don't do that, Sam. It could have had her take the pills, and as she's lying on the couch, I don't know, like the TV she's watching turns into these surreal visions and memories. A little bit more ridiculous, but still plausible. She takes all the pills, and in like a fucked up haze, she wanders home, and as she's wandering home, she passes the gas station. She has the Fez moment, and then she gets home to her mom, and then she could actually have a real reconciliation moment with her mom, but it's too late. And then as she passes away, she has the moment with her dad. Like, there's so many better ways that this could have been communicated, but Sam Levinson sucks. Good morning, dear reader. I'm just gonna pop on my InfoWars Pride shirt. It is June, after all. Good morning, Sam. So lying in my bed last night, I heard the clock tick. And I thought of you. I was thinking, how is it that when I watched this episode live, Rue's death made no noise, no impact? If anything, I was mad. But then when I revisited it a second time, I'm like fucking welling up. The answer came to me pretty quickly. And it was not because I took a bunch of edibles and was listening to M83, okay? That is no longer approved behavior. Now I just drink Monster and listen to rock music. It's because yesterday for the video, I actually spent a significant amount of time in Rue's world as this is happening to her. You know, the amount of time that her character deserves. Sam disagrees. Sam deems it appropriate that Ruby Bennett's death, or at least a portion of it, is intercut amidst Nazis shitting themselves. I'm not playing the sounds, but just know they are there. And then Alamo getting the best of the DEA, and where they think the drugs are gonna be, he puts a little dead rat. Ask yourself who we're supposed to be rooting for in this scene, because it's not the DEA, it's the dead rat. Just kidding. It's Alamo. And don't get me wrong, I love an anti-hero moment. Like, I rooted for the Joker. I'm just so dark and edgy like that. Becoming the best version of yourself comes with a lot of goodbyes. The Joker. Yeah, I remember that part. But we're supposed to be like, yes, Alamo, work. That's so silly. That's so cheeky. To the guy that killed Rue. To the guy that is in the midst of killing Rue. Say it with me, Sam. You're the little dead rat. You're the little dead rat. You're the little dead rat. Wrong. Little dead rats serve a purpose. So Rue's death sequence is over, and we cut to the actual morning after. Oh my fucking god, it is the exact same footage, except the real version has gospel music playing over it. He goes into the living room, and Rue is crumpled up on the couch. And the order of his actions... Oh, I have so many problems with this. There is a very clear course of action when you find someone that has OD'd. First and foremost, administer Narcan and call the cops. And this isn't even like obscure information. So much of this is basic human instinct, you know, a primal emotional response to a crisis like this. But Ali is like, I won't be doing 90% of this. The first thing he does is check her pulse, off to an okay start. Not for long. He then blesses her, Sam, gives her a kiss on the forehead, and then 1 minute and 10 seconds after approaching her, he just voyages into the kitchen. Have some dirty dishes, Dewey. He's actually testing the substance that she took, but it's the functional equivalent of doing the dishes because he hasn't notified anyone. He literally saw Rue's body and was like, this is between you, me, and God. Okay, time for a cig, time to brood around the house. If Ollie's character was notoriously reactive and overly emotional, maybe this reaction would make sense as a creative choice, you know, like, oh shit, he's finally stunned into inaction, he can't do anything. But he's literally always like this. He has lost his composure exactly one time in this show, and it was when Rue said those really vile things to him in season 2.
Yeah, well, good thing nobody's really looking you to be a fucking parent.
Yo, when I sit across from you and tell you something about my life, you didn't get to use that shit against me. One more fucking disrespectful word out of your mouth and we're done. You hear me? Hey, you hear me?
Or what, Ali? You gonna hit me?
This would have been a very appropriate setting for him to lose it one more time, because he is losing her. That would have been profound, but no. I think Sam thought that expressing this scene in this way was more dramatic, more cathartic, more biblical. This is how overdoses were done in the Old Testament. I hate this scene so much. I'm done with it. Let's move on. For my own sanity and to make this video more watchable, I've decided that from here on out, I'm going to randomly put in some of my favorite moments from seasons 1 and 2 without context. Like, yeah, let's cleanse those palates.
Just take it one day at a time.
Hey, Cass.
Yeah?
I have a quick question for you.
What?
How long have you been fucking Nate Jacobs?
Like, don't you just feel better? The next scene is Ali in an AA meeting giving this monologue. I used to believe that the world would be a better place if people could empathize with addiction, to understand that addicts were suffering from an incurable disease, no different than cancer. The addict may be in remission, but the disease ain't gone. Off to a fine start, right? Right? Let's see what he says next. I thought that empathy was the key, but if you can empathize with an addict, you can also empathize with a dealer. They're selling drugs to feed their children, so who can't understand that? So maybe empathy ain't that helpful after all. Okay, I find this equivalence between empathizing with a user and empathizing with a dealer to be, at best, just fundamentally misinformed, and at worst, damaging. Like, yeah, you can empathize with a dealer, but you don't have to. Like, what is this statement? Like, yeah, I could do that. I could do a lot of things. It is actually quite easy to extend empathy to someone who is struggling with a life-threatening addiction to substances, and not extend empathy to the person who is selling said substance. Selling said substance, say that 5 times fast. He for sure wanted people to be like, whoa. Never thought of it like that. But it's not complicated. It's really not. You can show empathy to whoever or whatever you want, and that does not mean that you have to show empathy towards, I guess, everyone and everything. Like, I don't know what fucking planet this guy lives on. It's just so fucking stupid. Okay, let's finish this. And maybe the real disease is that people no longer know the difference between right and wrong. I don't care what your struggles may be. If you poison kids for money, you're evil. It's plain and simple. Maybe the real disease were the friends we made along the way. So grown adults who choose to sell things like fentanyl for a living, these are not kids in a sandbox, okay? I promise you they understand the difference between right and wrong. Just casually infantilizing the cartel. I guess the main point of this is that if you poison kids for money, you're evil. It's plain and simple. And yes, true. But we certainly took a long way to get there. What a long, strange, ignorant, misinformed trip it's been.
Only thing I know for certain is that there is a right and a wrong in this world. And you know, in between, you're either making the world a better place or you're making it worse. In the end, it's that fucking simple.
No, it is not that simple. It is far from that simple. Humans are complex. This is such a reductive take on addiction and just society in general, this idea that people are all good or all bad. And Sam reinforces this idea more. He already has with the whole like light and dark thing with Rue, but he's gonna do it more. It's childish, okay? I have done things that have made the world a worse place. I've done things that have made the world a better place. And I've done a lot of things that make no impact on the world at all. And I think that's true for most people. And the show used to do, I thought, an incredible job at exploring the humanity in people that do unforgivable things. The plotline with Cal Jacobs comes to mind. You know, he's an abuser, he's an assaulter, he's the R word. And then we get the backstory of what it was like for him growing up as a closeted gay man in a very conservative, not accepting town, and a town that he felt that he had to rise to the top of. And in order to do that, he had to stifle his identity his entire life, and that has consequences. And the show doesn't say that we should forgive him or think that he's a great person, like, oh, he's just misunderstood. Like, no, he should go to jail. It's just fucking real. The show is like, hey, here's this man, here's what he did, and here is his life. Cut to season 3, he just completely contradicts and discards all the show's previous messaging that made the show what it was, and is now a very binary way of looking at things. You know, you are either a benevolent angel or a malicious demon. You are either Dumbledore or Voldemort. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Harry Potter. Like, that is my jam. Those are my people. Joanne and I have some issues, but Harry Potter is an amazing story. It's also for children. Euphoria is supposed to be this sophisticated take on coming of age and trauma and identity and all the complexities that come with it. But no, now we're doing light good, dark bad. Very thought-provoking, Sam. Thank you so much. TYSM. And what's worse is people are eating this up. They're saying it's amazing. He deserves an award. Sure, his acting was good, but the monologue is terrible. Best series finale ever. Ma'am, have you seen Succession? Have you seen Breaking Bad? You people cannot be serious. As an addiction therapist, this was impactful. I also thought it was somewhat relatable to people who are afflicted. Yeah, I've always been a strong advocate against empathy, so this monologue really spoke to me. He wasn't talking to them. He was talking to us. Okay, so that's how television works. I can't do this anymore. Okay. Welcome to Act 3.
Welcome to Act 3.
This wasn't supposed to take 3 days, Sam. Let's take a little energy infusion, a morning elixir, if you will.
I'll destroy your life. I'll destroy your dad's life. I'll fucking burn your whole shit to the ground.
Because I personally have no problem walking into any police station and telling them that Nate Jacobs' daddy
likes to fuck little kids.
Yeah, that's how it's done. I'm ready.
This a rolling, not a stop. Watch shit don't never stop.
I needed one more, sorry. The bass is kicking. Okay, so after one of the worst monologues of all time, and that's saying a lot.
I don't like sand.
We jump forward like 3 months because who cares what Rue's best friend's initial reactions were to her death. I guess I could show that, but then I'd have less time to show my pathetic attempts at being Quentin Tarantino, and the people just need to see that. Quentin, please notice me. The characters are watching spaghetti westerns, Quentin. I'm just like you. Martin, I'm doing gangsters and cocaine trafficking. Look. Sorry. Okay, so we get 2 minutes and some change of Jules painting. Forgot about her. And she doesn't talk, which I do think is a good creative choice for this scene because Hunter Schafer is such a diabolically good actress. Like, she is saying what she needs to say, John Mayer style, without actually saying anything. It's in the lip quivering, it's in the eyes, it's in the not being melodramatic about it. Like, yeah, it's very good. A couple things, though. This is the only scene of her in the entire episode, her silently painting a painting for 2 seconds, and then it's gone. That's it for Jules. That's curtains. And second of all, and potentially even more criminal, the painting. Girl, what is this? Go back to school. Yeah, I kind of crushed with that. I might upload it as its own thing. Watch out, TikTok. So then we get a very cool and normal shot of Lexi and Cassie speaking.
I owe more than it's worth, but I think that's a good thing.
Also, what is this new persona she has going on? A couple episodes ago, she was literally doing age play on OnlyFans, like wearing a fucking diaper, and now I guess she's a 50s housewife. This literally reads as those "I'm a mom" commercials.
I'm a mom. Boys, breakfast.
I took the plates off my Honda and I just started driving. I put myself up in this motel behind a P.F. Chang's. There was this gal next to me. Her name was Puka, like the shell. God, I'm good. Cole, I'm available. I'm really doing anything to not talk about the topic at hand. Sante. So Maddie is going to Alamo's strip club / tire shop because she's a sex slave with zero agency now. And I hate to say it, but these shots are pretty awesome. Quentin would be proud. Congrats, Sam. You nailed that one thing. Doesn't last long, though.
You ever read the Bible?
Oh, good. Here we go again. What follows is 5 straight minutes of Bible propaganda.
Kind of incredible, actually. Like, you'd think it'd be boring, but there's a lot of violence and sex.
Okay, pushing some of the undeniably good messages in Christianity is one thing, but pretending that book is not an absolute chore to get through, don't piss me off.
The Bible.
In the Bible.
The Bible.
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 Bible. The Bible. I think I have to read it again.
Oh boy. Boy oh boy. Boy oh Bible. Now let's take a look at some of these lessons. Let's study the sacred text.
Bad things happen. So why have anxiety about it? Like, what good does it do?
Such a good point. I struggled with anxiety for so long until I realized bad things sometimes happen. Palette cleanser alert.
You dressed as a slutty nun?
I'm Fana from Miss 45. It's a movie about this mute seamstress who gets brutally raped at gunpoint. And at the end, she puts on a nun costume, goes to a Halloween party, and shoots everybody.
I love how all of these kids are like fucking film historians. These are deep cuts. I'm Fana from Miss 45. Obviously. So BibleCon 2026 has officially ended, and we get one final shot of Cassie. Sam seems to think that just a slow, uncut, zoom-out shot of a character is a substitute for writing a conclusion for them. Newsflash, it's not. It means nothing. You can't do that. We then hard cut to the tire store where Maddie is being pimped out to Alamo. Please notice me, Quentin. Pretty please. This does make me want to go on a Tarantino binge because I have the itch now and this is just so deeply unsatisfying. I'm just such a film connoisseur like that. Have you guys seen Pulp Fiction? No. I fear this requires another palate cleanse.
I don't understand. If you're not auditioning for Oklahoma, then why do you look like that?
Like what?
Like a country music star.
In a good way or a bad way?
Bitch, you better be joking. Are you okay, Kat?
No! Yes! Fuck it! I am in love with Nate Jacobs and he is in love with me! And you know, you fucking give me that look, Maddie, because I didn't fuck your boyfriend. You two were broken up for 3 weeks and 3 days before we even had sex, so I didn't betray you. Plus, you guys are terrible for each other and you know I'm right way, and you guys can all judge me if you want, but I do not care. I have never, ever been happier.
Oh my god, that was so needed. That was so needed. It's a very cliche scene to put in, and you guys can judge me all you want, but I do not care, okay? I have never, ever been happier. My neighbors are gonna fucking kill me. Much like Ali is going to kill Alamo. Let's get back to it.
This thing that you got between your legs is a miracle. It's biblical.
Oh my god, of course it is. I'm worried I'm gonna start saying that when something major happens. That was biblical. Fuck, that kind of has a nice ring to it. Anyways, while Alamo is essaying Maddie, Ali has cornered the bar manager, played by Marshawn Lynch. He's actually pretty good. It's kind of sick.
You know what, for a stranger, you ask a lot of motherfucking questions.
Ali points a shotgun at his dick. It's literally just Timu in Inglourious Bastards. But what makes that scene in Inglourious Bastards so amazing is the setup to it. There is like 20 minutes of build-up of just incredible dialogue and this like dance that the bastards are doing with the Germans. You know, they're trying to convince the Germans that they're one of them. So they're drinking, they're playing games, and then what gives it away is I think he mispronounces one word. There's this underlying tension throughout the entire scene that slowly starts to build, and when it breaks, that is what makes the gunfight so fucking satisfying. Sam doesn't understand that. Sam just saw gun at your balls and was like, that's cool. Ollie waltzes in with the gun. I want to speak to the manager. I have a shotgun. I'm here to fuck shit up. Fucking Karen behavior. It doesn't work, Sam. And why is this even a fucking plot point in Euphoria? That just dawned on me. I got like so lost in it. It's insane. This is not Euphoria. Let's remind ourselves of what Euphoria is.
You're so fucking worthless. My dream in life is to bankrupt you.
Exactly. I think we need some more.
How to get away with being a drug addict.
Step 1.
That's Euphoria. And on a more serious note,
I raised you. I did, okay? And you do not fucking scare me.
Yeah, it's a shame, Mom. My dad's dead. Kind of keeps you from admitting what a shit fucking mother you are.
I'm sorry, but I need you to tell me where they are. I need you to tell me where the pills are, Mom.
that's Euphoria. Okay, let's get back to this atrocity of a finale. So Ali kills Marshawn Lynch and then is waving his gun around in the club, demanding to speak to Alamo. And that is when Alamo challenges him to a duel.
We can settle this the old-fashioned way.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. So the terms of the duel are when this bottle rolls off the counter and breaks, they draw their guns. Whatever. The show is insisting so hard that this is like the ultimate climax and that everything has been building to this, but it hasn't. It's so scattered. This whole like Ali avenging Rue and going on a killing spree thing is like a 5-minute old idea. The situation is fundamentally ridiculous and it's just not grounded in any semblance of reality. And for me, that's really hard to move past. It makes it really hard for me to care about. And even if I was on board with this classic Western direction that he's trying to go in, there's nothing innovative or interesting about how he presents it. There's so many other Westerns that do it better, so many other directors that do it better. It's boring. At least Maddie is looking glam as fuck as she's hiding in the corner. My one bright light. Anyways, Alamo cheats, obviously. But there's no bullets in his gun. Whoa. Ollie's henchmen secretly took the bullets out of Alamo's gun before the duel. It would have been so much of a better choice to have Maddie be the one who took the bullets out of the gun. You know, she's clever, she's confident, she's timeless. But nope, she's reduced to the useless chick cowering in the corner.
First of all, ew. Second of all, ew.
Okay, class, raise your hand if you want more religious propaganda. The classroom is silent. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. But let's not forget this is a self-indulgent vanity project we're dealing with. So yeah, we're gonna do it anyway. So Ali is now for sure wanted for multiple murders. He is making headlines. He is on the FBI list. You know, he's got to take the plates off his Honda and just drive. He goes to this house that is a fundamentalist Baptist family. Like, Rue took shelter there once when she was trafficking across the border. They gave her shelter or whatever. She had, like, written the address down and had told Ali that she planned on going back there. It's giving Westboro Baptist Church. It's giving the Duggar family. It's giving the fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, it's so weird and it's presented as a good thing. Jesus Christ, what is this outfit? Girl to find anyone?
Hey guys, it's Kristen and Bethany here. It can be so hard to combine fashion and modesty.
Like, yeah, those are the girls. I haven't seen much content from them lately. I have to assume that they were consultants for Sam Levinson for this season. How to get away with a mass murder at a strip club in a God-honoring way. Okay, so Ali calls Rue his daughter. Undeniably very sweet.
She said it was the most peaceful place she'd ever been.
Ruby?
Freak. It's giving Pearl. Maybe I'm just being an asshole. I'm just so over this. Ali introduces himself with a new, completely whitewashed name.
Pleasure to meet you, Martin. Why don't you come in? Let's have some coffee and talk a bit.
Like, what is happening right now? Ali goes and stares at a cow for a little bit. Oh, sorry, Martin. And then another creepy child emerges and asks if he's hungry and to follow her. Dinner's ready. We have some delicious human meat tonight. So, of course, the inside of their house looks like this. And, oh my God, have less children. Ali is saying a prayer. Martin is saying a prayer. And there is noticeably no one at the other end of the table. He specifically mentions Rue in the prayer, and then she appears at the end of the table.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, yeah, I got goosebumps at this. It's very nice to just see her in a place of peace and comfort. She was in so much pain her entire life, and it's nice to see her get some relief. But it's still so bizarre. Like, I find the evangelical Christian themes to be very strange, and Sam Levinson has also said some very, like, bleak and cynical things around Rue's death. It felt like an honest ending. The honest ending is people like Rue don't make it. You could say it's just semantics, but I think when you're talking about something like this, rhetoric is important, and I will criticize you for it. People like Rue do make it. I know plenty of people who are like that, you know, especially when you're young, and they can recover. Once again, he's pushing this very binary way of looking at things. You know, if you behave like this, you are destined to die. And it's not true. I do think that in Rue's specific case, her passing away made the most sense for the show. It was most in line with how tragic of a character she is. However, you're not going to show her family's reaction. You're not going to show her friend's reaction, except for 3 months after the fact. But you're going to show her in this Baptist household with a bunch of people she met once. Like, what the fuck? Like, why couldn't that last scene have been a dinner with Lexi, Maddie, Cassie, most importantly, Jules, and Rue shows up like that, and they all share that moment together? Or just Jules sees her. That would have been so much more moving. Why did this have to take place at like a fucking Baptist commune? I don't get it. And despite her final goodbye being in the context of the gathering of the evangelicals she met once, it was still really moving. So think about how much more moving it would have been if she was surrounded by her family and her loved ones and Michael, or whatever he's going by now. And this last shot of the show being this fundamentalist household with the American flag. It's just like, what is this messaging? And I guess the implication is that Ollie is going to be living with them now. Okay, Midsommar. At least the Harga had fashion and riz for days. Like, they're mogging the fuck out of whatever this is. Pretty embarrassing for them. Step up your style and then we can talk. I'm just fucking rambling now and I'm tired. When I started this, I didn't think it was going to be this long, but there's just so many things that upset me, and also things that I enjoyed more upon a second assessment. But overall, this season was just completely nonsensical. He robbed the characters of what made them them. Like, what the fuck was Nate this season? The first 2 seasons, I have never hated a character more. I had problems with Jacob Elordi in his future projects because Nate was my introduction to him, and it took some time for me to kind of cast that aside. Like, God, I had such a visceral response to him, and in this season, he was just a fucking pincushion. He did nothing. He provoked nothing. Like, what do you mean he was a perfectly supportive and fine husband to Cassie? That is fundamentally against who he is. He's sleazy. He's schemy. He has no lines he won't cross. He's intelligent. And in this season, he just sat back and let everything happen to him with the Egyptian crypt keeper. And with Cassie, he was just like, oh, sure, do OnlyFans. Can you make me some money? Okay, I think that's enough. I sort of lost the plot with this video, but so did Sam Levinson, so it's on theme. If you're still here, thank you. Maybe I'll do a video on what made seasons 1 and 2 so great. Yeah, this was biblical. Amen.